7:15, a little bit of change on this Tuesday morning. Gavin O'Brien in studio. Read the article Sydney did. Nice job.
Thank you.
I think you did a great job. Great interview, man. How did Busch Stadium go?
Oh, it was wonderful.
I saw the pictures, man. You guys were decked out and looking great.
Yeah, it was great.
So take me through how you got started in music.
How I got started in music. Okay. Well, way back when I was a little kid in grade school, well, I've always been into music, but I didn't actually think about being a musician until I was in grade school and I did a project on like Elvis Presley. And it was like a history thing, and then I had to like dress up like him. It was this thing that the school did, a project at Bethalto. And I kind of like fell in love with the music and the process of learning about it. And like I fell in love with like the older music and everything. And it made me want to learn guitar, and I started singing and performing. And I actually started performing a lot of that music when I started out. Like I started out doing like a lot of Elvis stuff and playing in like Memphis and everything.
That's a pretty tough crowd to do Elvis in, you know?
Yeah.
How'd that go for it? Was it pretty well received?
Yeah.
Good, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, and take me through that. So, as you're growing up and listening to music too, and, you're starting to get an interest in it and, middle school, right?
Yeah.
What did you listen to? Because to me, I was a huge, Elvis guy. I listened to all the music too. I was Elvis and Charlie Pride and, Charlie Rich and all those guys. But for you, was there somebody that kind of really brought a jolt to you in terms of what you could do creating music too?
As far as creating music, I think the biggest inspiration comes from the Beatles. Yeah.
Really cool.
Performing, a lot of that got influenced by Elvis when I was a kid, but when I started writing stuff, it really came from the Beatles.
You know what's wild? A lot of people have even said that same thing where, you never took a note from Elvis when it came to creative genius because that was just all business. But when it came to stage personality, that's what you did. But for music, there's nobody better to look after than and kind of take notes from,
Right.
That's cool. So when was your first official gig? Do you remember it?
My first official gig, let me see. The first time I ever performed on stage was completely unplanned.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was in Memphis, Tennessee. We were out at Blue City Cafe and never performed before in my life. I don't even think my family knew I could perform yet. But I got up on stage. I asked this band if I can get up on stage and like sing with them. And there's the videos out there, but yeah.
That's wild.
It's my very first time ever being on stage and performing, and that's kind of where it started. And then my first official show, I think it was like a retirement home or something.
Hell yeah,
small,
man, that's cool.
It was real small.
That's cool. Now, I got to ask you, were your family, when you go on stage for the first time, are they going, oh, dear God, oh, dear God?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
What they do. That's cool, man. Well, going forward, how did really everything start to get going for you? When did the wheels start to turn? Because the hardest thing is getting the train to move, and start to just make progress. When did that happen for you?
As far as getting the wheels turning, performing a lot, that kind of came early with all those shows I was doing in Memphis and stuff, and contests, doing a lot of Elvis-based stuff. But then when I started branching out to doing my own thing, I started doing a lot of covers of all kinds of other music and other influences, and I started playing at just bars and other venues. And then I started writing music when I got into high school. And I just started releasing stuff a few years ago. Well, probably more than a few years ago now. Around 2020 is when I started really releasing stuff.
Pandemic.
Yeah, and then I started performing my own stuff recently with my new band I have. And they're really great.
I wanted to ask you that because you're doing original stuff now. When you're doing a cover, you're doing your version or your interpretation of a song. You kind of know if it sounds good or everything's really clicking. Now with your own pieces that are original that you've never really heard a lot live, how do you really know that, man, that's the sound, that's what we want?
I don't know, because I'll record a song, but then when we play it live, something will be a bit different than the original when I recorded it, but I'll like it still because it brings more life to it for the live sound.
Do you like that raw that raw factor to live performing too?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, as you were, I was looking through yesterday. Take me through how the hell your pocket full of rainbows blew up to all heavens, man. I was kind of just going through, and I when I did wrestling and all that, and I still do, but my big claim was in 1 month I had all these interactions, and it was wonderful. But I can say, obviously, I'm humbled now, and that was a lot you experienced. Were you surprised to see that, that thing took off like it did?
Yeah. And that was, you're talking about the
Pocket
cover
Full of Rainbows. Yeah. I mean, I saw it. I'm like, how many views does that thing have? It was thousands upon thousands, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was one of many covers that I did that year. In 2020, I was releasing so many videos.
Did COVID help that?
I think so. Yeah, it really boosted those covers. I think it gave people something to watch and look forward to, I think.
Well, I mean, for you, did it give you some sense of escape, too, from all the craziness? Because it seems like there was a lot of bad with COVID, but there was a lot of good when it came to, like, personal development and refinement and all of that stuff.
Oh, yeah, 2020, that's when I really started finding myself musically, like, originally, like, outside of just doing covers. Like, I was recording lots of covers for YouTube and making these videos, but creatively, that's where I kind of took off, too.
Right on. Well, now, looking back on some of the things you first wrote, do you look back and go, man, that was really bad, or man, that was really good?
Sometimes it's both. Like, sometimes I look back, I'm just like, that's terrible. And sometimes I look back and I'm like, man, I was writing that at 15.
Like, that's wild, you know?
Right.
So how does like the world around you really affect what you write about? Because I'm sure that's a huge factor into a lot of the tone or a lot of the, kind of characteristics of what you're writing.
Right. I don't know. I think, like, especially towards the beginning, like COVID and everything, I wrote a lot about unity and, like, things like... like, because people were really separated, people were lonely and isolated. So I would write a lot about that kind of topic. So that kind of affected my writing a lot earlier on. Recently I've been writing more about my personal life, things that are going on in my personal life more than, like, world things, but... influences come from everywhere. Sometimes I write something that's not even about anything. It's just something I made up just because it fit the vibe of the song.
That
so I
sounds
just made
cool.
up a story, but then other times it's about somebody I know, or sometimes it's just about something personally. It's like I'm talking to someone else, it's just me. But
does that help? You think too?
it's like journaling.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's kind of cool. Now, I got to ask you, in terms of, going back to Elvis real quick, do you like old Elvis or young Elvis better?
Young Elvis.
Really? See, I'm an older guy. I like I don't know how he did it all messed up, man. I really don't,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it definitely took a lot for him to be able to do that, but it's almost sad. Like,
yeah, it is sad. But now, do you still play covers? Or are you really focused now on let's get this original material out and let's get the public hearing it?
I'm very hard focused on the original stuff. I'm in another band with some of the guys that are actually in my band, and we do covers and we play some wineries and things like that. But my main focus is pretty much the original stuff. Yeah, definitely.
Well, and two, I mean, there's nothing harder than really getting the booking train going and, finding venues and folks that are reaching out to you. What's the hard part for that? How far out do you look to kind of plan your shows? Because it seems like sometimes it's like a moment's notice you're getting up and going, and then sometimes, you have something that's planned for a few months. What are some of the hardships that come with that and some of the difficulty and good things with that too?
With like booking?
Yeah.
Well, some places like this Busch Stadium thing, it kind of just came out of nowhere. Yeah. Just kind of shot our chance and just sent out a message because we heard about the event that was going on, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you'd be great." And it was like next month. I'm like, "Okay, we're playing Busch Stadium."
That's seriously it?
Yeah, that's because they see what you've done, and I guess they like it. And
well, yeah, because a lot of times I've seen musicians that are really talented, but it's like they keep going, I'm not getting any opportunities. And it's like, well, how many emails are you sending out? Keep knocking on that door, I think
that's what it takes. You just got to take the chance. What's there to lose?
Now, with this, you're your own business manager too. I mean, the band's their own business manager because you guys are, I'm sure, doing things and, trying to reach out to folks for, venues and partnerships and deals and all of that. Are you kind of getting a sense that you're basically your own business owner in this too?
Yeah.
Because I've always kind of been fascinated with that side of things, especially because you guys are, doing this really, you're starting out and you're kicking ass, taking names, but you're still gotten to manage everything too and kind of, staying focused.
Yeah. It's difficult. It's definitely like, of course I have support. Like I have my dad who helps a lot with like finding venues, and he does a lot of he helps with social media and making like the video productions that we have out there. But,
shout out to Dad. Hell yeah, that's awesome.
yeah. And then the support with the band and everything. I have a lot of support, but like trying to balance being a creative artist, but also trying to be a businessman.
Yeah. It's really fascinating how you're all able to do that, because I don't think I could, because it seems like once you start getting into that kind of mentality of we got to, hit X, Y, and Z and do all that, it starts to stunt some of the creativity that's going on too. But now take me through the vibe of your bandmates, because there's nothing that's make or break more than the relationship that you have with your band members too. How did that come about? How did you guys get together?
It's a crazy story. Okay, so I think the first person that I have with me in the band would be my bass player. His name's Anthony. met him. Actually, he's my cousin. I didn't meet him until we were teenagers.
That's awesome.
I found out he's my cousin, and we kind of became like really close friends, like best friends. And then we played music. He started playing bass after we started hanging out.
That's cool.
So, then I met my drummer currently. His name's Phil. I met him in a Beatles tribute band.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then we ended up becoming good friends, and we ended up leaving the Beatles tribute band and started doing our own thing with the cover thing. And then he also is a part of my original thing now too. He plays drums. His best friend, his name's Max. He's from the Netherlands. Mm-hmm. He plays lead guitar in my band, and me and him have also become really close. So we're all really close. And then also my girlfriend is Phil's sister, and she plays acoustic guitar and other guitars, and also does vocals.
That's cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's
backup vocals.
Well, you got to have that if you're gonna, rehearse all the time. And what's that kind of look like? What's your schedule look like?
We try to rehearse as much as we can. I think for this Busch Stadium show, we only rehearsed once last week.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and it was a funny story because it's like our biggest show that we had coming up, and then we got to rehearsal and we didn't have any power, so we huddled around the drum kit and just sung out loud and just like turned on our amps and just tried to make it blend as much as we could, but it worked out really well still because we're a really good chemistry.
Yeah,
so I think we make it work easily.
Now, what do you like in your songs? Is there a certain type of sound that you like? Because to me, I always like a little bit of some funk in it. Give me some strings, give me some give me some wind and percussion too. Like let's make this a show and a spectacle for you. What does it? What hits the ears?
I'm always finding new things to do with my music.
That's cool.
Always changing up the genre. I love a lot of my influences come from like the Beatles style, like rock. I also like bands like Oasis and Nirvana, and and a lot of modern stuff like Tame Impala, Mac DeMarco, that kind of thing.
That's cool. Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of meshed those sounds together, put my own thing on it. I think and I think a lot of definitely like some soul. Where you can dance to it a bit, but it's still like gritty and rocky. I don't know how to explain it, but
no, I get it because that's kind of how I like it too. Because I don't want something that I'm sitting there and banging my head 100,000 beats a minute, too. But I also like something that's upbeat that has some taste to it, some spice to it. It keeps you moving, and then you can sing along to it at the same time too.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Very melodic. I love melody.
That's cool.
Melody driven.
Yeah. You got a minute to stick around?
Yeah.
9:28, I got to pay a quick bill, but while I have you, let me fill you in on Alton Little Theater. They're one of our favorites. Alton Little Theater started their 91st season in business. 91 years in a row. They're the longest, oldest, most continuous in the state of Illinois, and one of the oldest and most continuous in the country. Now, the 91st season starts with their Princesses and Princes Cabaret Concert Series. That's May the 31st through June the 8th. But Oliver, the musical, is on stage in August, and they're looking for little ones to audition and be a part of the performances. Their youth acting class is already filled up. I told you to give them a phone call, and you didn't, but hey, there's always next year. You get over to AltonLittleTheater.org and get your season ticket information for the 91st season, and start it off with that the Princesses and Princes, because Disney is a jerk, cabaret concert, and then you go over into Oliver Rocky Horror Picture Show. You got to watch that word. That can get you in trouble. And then you got a Christmas Carol, all that fun stuff. Call the box office for ticket information, 618-462-3205. That's 618-462-3205, or AltonLittleTheater.org, and hang out with Lee Cox and I on the first and last Thursday of the month with Theater Thursday.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone, and over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car. I have a job. There's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team.
We've got Joey.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Even if they say you're wrong, well, it's alright. Sometimes you gotta be strong.
You know, 9:31. Welcome back, Gavin O'Brien in studio. So you're playing this Sunday
You got so much to let
with Alto JC's Summer Carnival. Similar.
Something like that.
Yeah, he'll be at the Bethalto Carnival. Now there's a lot of folks that go to that thing.
Yeah.
Now, how do you guys prepare? Is there like a set list that you guys have for certain venues for certain audiences? Or are you guys just going out and being yourselves and showing us what you got?
Yeah. It depends on how long the show is. Usually we'll have I have like a long set list, but then we have our shorter set list for like small shows. But this show, it'll actually be both bands that I'm a part of. I have my original band, and then, like I told you, the cover band's Roommate. That's what they're called. They're going to be playing also. So I'm going to be playing all 4 hours of the show, just two different bands technically.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, is that fun for you to do too, to be able to kind of, enjoy a little bit of the covers and then, you know.
It's very fun and freeing. You don't feel as because when it's my original stuff, I want to make sure it's tight and right.
Yeah.
It's like you do the same thing with the cover stuff too, but you have a lot more freedom just to kind of have fun and just goof off.
And the audience knows, a lot of those cover songs, I'm sure too, so you can kind of, let them help you out a bit too if anything ever hits the... Now, has there ever been an audio failure from hell?
Oh, yes.
Has there? Okay.
Yeah. Just as showed maybe 2 weekends ago, we were playing, and luckily I was doing this crowd interaction thing, so it happened perfect timing, but the whole audio system shut down. So I had the crowd singing this song while we were trying to get the audio back up and running because the power circuit cut out or something. I don't know, but just everything cut out, and all the speakers, all the microphones.
Well, for here, we in media and all that, we have cameras, so we can go to break at any time, or we can just have something happen, or we can throw up a picture. But you guys got to keep moving. You can't really stop whenever the show's going on.
Right.
Do you have a group around you that helps set up audio, or is that all you guys that do that?
It's mostly just us guys.
Are you serious?
Yeah, sometimes.
That's cool.
Some of the parents will help if they're present, or we have a couple roadies
That's
friends
cool.
that come along sometimes and they'll help out. But yeah, it's mostly just us. Yeah.
Now, what's the plans for the future, man? Are you looking to go anywhere, or is it stay here and then go visit like LA, New York, and all those, and Nashville and all those places, or is it moving there?
Yeah, I'd love to travel. I don't know what the future brings as far as where I'm gonna live.
Yeah.
But definitely with my music, I want to take it on the road and travel, get it out there more than just here in the local area. But
for sure.
Yeah.
And what do you think of the music scene around here, though? Are you thinking that do you think that there's a lot of good around here to play at, or you think it's good for right now, but let's keep adding bigger venues? Because we have an influx of musicians right now, it seems like.
Yeah.
But it also seems like too, it's like at a certain point you go, well, we played here a lot, so let's add some new friends to the mix,
Right. It does seem like it's a tough scene because we're in a strange area of the country, for music anyway. I know St. Louis, I think it was pretty big for music, but I think it's kind of fading out in a way, sadly. But Chicago, we still have that going for us, I feel like, for the music scene, and I think that's kind of where my next step is as far as where I want to promote and try to get shows. I don't think I want to move up there. Not move, but get the music up there.
Now, is there now I got to ask you, is there a genre you will not play?
I will not play country music.
That's okay. So I knew it. Just look, I'm like, I have a feeling that he's gonna say country music, but I gotta ask this out loud. That's interesting.
I definitely have my influences from older country. The Beatles, they wrote songs that were kind of country-y, folky stuff. But like, if you turn on the country radio now, you're not gonna hear me playing that.
Yeah, no,
Right.
I get you. Totally get you. That's cool. And now, what was have you learned? I'm trying to think how to phrase this. So, when you started, you obviously were playing guitar and all that. But was there anything you've learned along the way that you just pick up and play while you're jamming around, and you kind of find a love for it that way, like instrument wise?
Yeah. I had my fair share of learning like the bass, keyboard, like piano, drums. Like that's what all my music is. Like if you listen to my music on Spotify or wherever, that's all me playing that. Like all those instruments. Yeah,
that's cool, man.
I learned everything, and when I started writing stuff, I was like, oh, I can do this myself in the studio because I didn't have a band when I started recording, so I just did it myself. I was forced to in a way.
That's cool. And see, that's what I think makes you a better musician, because you really have to learn all that material. You know, you can't just hope for the best and just find a sample track out there somewhere,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Now, how easy is it to make music today? Like if you know, obviously you got to have some talent. You can't just,
Right.
start screaming into a microphone and calling it a day. But can you produce some music easier, than people think in this, with technology?
Yeah, I mean sometimes you can make music with your iPhone, with GarageBand, and you can make it sound really good if you know what you're doing.
Can you really?
Yeah.
I always thought that was a joke. I'm like, why
No,
is
you
this
can
on
do
my
it.
phone? I don't
Yeah.
want this.
If you have an ear for it, if you can get the science right, you can make it work. You can make a song.
No kidding.
Yeah, there's
That's
an
awesome.
artist, Steve Lacy. That's what he did. I don't know if he still does it, but he's pretty popular. I think like a lot of his music, at least in the beginning, it's all a GarageBand.
That's why that is so wild to me. Just like like people can they'll take like that sound, or they'll take like a weird sound and they'll make it a song. I don't understand how that works either. Have you ever done that yet, where you take something you hear and you're like, man, that sounds kind of cool?
Yeah, I think there's a song on one of my EPs that I released last year, I think, where it's just like a bunch of bathroom noises. Like it's like water running from the sink and then like tapping on the sink with a toothbrush, things like that, just weird stuff.
That's like the coolest thing to me, because like ever since I heard Steven Tyler talking about how he used like the Tic Tacs or whatever for Sweet Emotion, it was really just a little Tic Tac box, and like hearing Jeff Lynne talk about how he just started writing stuff because he heard like a microwave or heard something like the telephone and was like, oh, that sounds good, let's mix that in.
Yeah.
That's so wild to me. So is that all you've done with it, just the bathroom sounds, or are there more that you kind of picked up in nature, or just anything else?
Let's see. I've definitely done some like weird alternative things for sounds that I needed. Like for example, right now my studio's in my bedroom, so I don't have room for a drum kit, but I still need a full drum kit sound. So I bring just 2 drums. I have a snare drum and I have my floor tom, and I just use the floor tom as a kick drum, then I snare, and then the snare, and I do like the basic kick and snare on that. And then I'll overdub with the hi-hat separately, and I'll like pretend play the drums on top of what I recorded with this to make it sound like it's a full drum kit, and I'll like overdub everything.
That's actually awesome.
Every drum individually where they need to be, instead of doing it all simultaneously.
That's really cool.
So I think that's
awesome.
that's something it's kind of weird that I do, but it works. And I make it work.
Have you ever just made a song out of nowhere? Because I've heard people go, yeah, we just started playing and it happened. We just were recording and this is how. Have you done that before?
Yeah, definitely. I have
No
songs.
kidding?
I have songs that I'll write in 5 minutes, and then I have songs that I've been working on for a year.
What's is it frustrating for the year songs, like the ones that take longer? Is it a frustrating process for you, or is it more of an enlightening one?
Sometimes it's frustrating. Sometimes it's like I'll start writing it and then it won't go anywhere. So I'll leave it alone. I'll forget about it. And then I'll go back and listen to like a voice memo I have of it. And I'll be like, oh, I know what I can do with this now. Like I'll be like, maybe it's a good thing that I couldn't finish it then, because or else I wouldn't have had this idea.
That's cool.
To go with it. So yeah, like I've done songs recently that I started writing maybe a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Like I have songs that I wrote when I was 15 that I didn't record until a couple of years ago.
That's really cool. And you're sitting there going, man, what was I mad about that day? Well, before I let you go here, is there one show that you have that kind of sticks out as one to remember for a while in the last couple of years? Yeah, just one show that you go, man, that was one of the best. Is there one that you kind of look back on?
Yeah, I think yesterday was pretty great.
Was it really?
Was pretty exciting. I sold all the people who came to see it, or tickets I sold, raised like over $3,000 just in tickets for people to come see it. And I felt bad because my set ended up only being 20 minutes, but they had the game included. So, so I was just like, once I found out the set was only 20 minutes, I got a little bit nervous that people were going to feel ripped off.
Did they win yesterday?
Did they win? Oh yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
God,
great.
because the way they're playing, it's like, 2 years ago you do that, no problem at all.
Yeah.
But the way the Cardinals are playing the last 2 years, that can get dangerous too if you're like, well, the game's included. Man, F you, I don't want to see that game,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they won. I'm not sure.
Let's hope so, Well, I'm talking to my sports guy here in a couple of minutes. Let's see. I better be prepared. We'll do this on the fly. They did win 6-3. We're now 5 games under 500, and we're turning the page, man. Come on. Anyway, with that being said, what's the you got a show coming up this Sunday, and where's that again?
That's at the JC Fair in Bethalto.
In Bethalto, what time are you on the stage?
I'm pretty sure it's 3 to 7. If I'm wrong, it's 6 to 9. But
It will be a
or
3
6 to 10,
yeah.
something like that.
Really cool. And then we have the JC Festival linked on Riverbender. So if you just, any one of the days, click on the tab on our event calendar, and it'll take you to their Facebook page and all the music lineups and all that stuff. And then going forward, anything getting released in the next couple of months we need to stay tuned to?
Yeah. I'm working on a lot of new songs right now. I'm hoping to at least have an EP, if not an album.
Cool,
But,
man.
Yeah, I have a lot of new stuff.
And
coming down.
how do we find your music?
Gavin O'Brien, Facebook. You can find my Spotify, iTunes. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook and all those things. But basically, any music streaming platform you can find under my name.
With the exception of DC Glenhammer, who was Whoop the tag team, you have the most Facebook followers I think I've interviewed. Between you and DC Glenn from Whoop, there it is. That's it. Yeah, that's
Nice.
it, man. 44,000 followers. How about that? You can go look up Gavin O'Brien on Facebook. And really Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and really go out and support, man. This is cool. Best of luck. And anytime you guys have something new coming down the pipeline, any live footage you want to share with us, we'll play it here, we'll air it here, and we'll talk to you about it.
Cool. Awesome.
9:42 is the time on this Tuesday morning, but before we take a quick break, let me fill you in on Denise Sparks Junk Removal and Hauling. You won't believe this. About a year ago, I was out here in the parking lot, and a trash truck driver was picking our trash up, so I stayed on this side of the road just to give him some space. The guy almost backed up into me and then got out of his truck and tried to beat me up and then followed me into this building, okay? And that was one of the big company's employees. You don't have to worry about that with Sparks Junk Removal. They aren't going to come beat you up. They're just going to give you a big old hug because they're here for their customers. They're here for their community. Whether or not your neighbor's getting ready to report you because your grass is really overtaken that hot tub that's been there for 25 years. You got some just junk scattered across your yard, maybe some broken down car. Call Sparks Junk Removal and Hauling. For 31 years, she's taken care of you, and for the next 31, she's taken care of you in junk hauling and removal, plus weekly trash pickup. You go to sparksjunkremoval.net, see if you're in her service area. You might even save a couple of bucks while you're supporting local. At Sparks Junk Removal, you're never a number. You're always a person, and not just that, you're community, and that's what Sparks loves the most. SparksJunkRemoval.net. Reclaim your space today.